Okay, this is a 1920s Martin ukulele. Now, these little guys are difficult to date because they didn't use any serial numbers back in the early 1920s and 30s. So you have to date them through the features. So I'm going to walk you through the features of this one that date it to the 1920s. First of all, you'll notice that there's nothing here on the headstock. Some of the later ones had a sticker on the headstock. This one doesn't. Instead, it has Martin stamped into the back. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but there's a Martin stamp in the back of the headstock. There's also a Martin stamp on the back inside the sound hole, which probably won't be able to show in the video, but it's there. Also, it has an ivory nut right here, and the saddle down here is also ivory. You can also look closely at the binding around the top and around the sound hole. This center strip, if you look at the pattern, for example, there's 3 black lines, 4 ivory lines here on the outside binding. You have these diamond inlays on the fretboard. All of these are features that are consistent with the 1920s Martin ukulele. So it is solid koa construction, including the back and sides. If you take a look at the back, you can see the beautiful wood grain on there. It's got some nice flaming to it. This instrument, when I acquired it, had a very tiny crack right here. It wasn't an open crack, it was a closed crack, which I have opted not to cleat, but I did glue it to make sure that it's secure. So that has been repaired and is perfectly stable. The top has no cracks at all, but there is some glue residue here around the bridge. I didn't do that. It was like that when I got it. I don't know how old it is, but if you look here under the black light, you can see it more clearly. And you can also tell from this black light that it's probably was done quite some time ago. If we follow this light around, it also confirms the age of the instrument because you see how bluish that hue is around there, which is indicative of a very old finish. So that is the original finish. I checked it all over the instrument and confirmed that it is all original finish on here. You can see a little bit of wear only under black light. If you take the black light away, you don't see that at all, but that's where you would have your hand resting for most ukulele chords. So that's not at all unusual. And there's that stamp that I mentioned. And this is also a good way to confirm that there was never a sticker on the headstock, because under blacklight, if there had been a sticker on there for several years, you would see the outline of that sticker, and obviously you don't see that under blacklight. So that all, again, confirms the age of this really cool little ukulele. The neck on it is in perfect condition, very straight. The action is excellent. If you listen to the notes ring out, they ring very nice and clear. It's got a really nice tone to it. And you heard me playing some chords there at the intro. I'll just play a few more. So there it is, 1920s Martin 3K ukulele.